Hello, everyone. Good evening. I call to order a meeting of the Watchung Borough School District Board of Education. This is a working meeting. It is February 10th, 2026 at 7 p.m. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to a meeting of the Board of Education of the Borough of Watchung. Please be advised that this and all meetings of the board are open to the public and media, consistent with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Laws of 1975. And that the advance notice required therein has been provided. This is a regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Borough of Watchung at which formal action may be taken. Not tonight. Tonight is a working meeting. Formal action will not be taken. This meeting is being live streamed on the district website, where a recording of the meeting also will be posted. The public will have an opportunity to be heard as shown on the agenda at points in the meeting provided for the public to address the board. Recording or photographing, other than for private personal use, requires the consent of parents and guardians whose children may be included in the image. Can we have a roll call, please?
Yes. Mrs. Agliero?
Here.
Mrs. Amadeo?
Here.
Mr. Desiano?
Here.
Mrs. Harvey? Mrs. Maddox?
Here.
Mrs. Marcellus?
Here.
And Mr. Kraft, Mrs. Santos, and Mr. Tricka are absent.
Great. I'd like to now ask Ms. Kathy Poirier of the NJSBA to come up and talk to us about norms. This presentation is part of our board goal to develop norms and protocols.
Yes, so if you remember back in October when Thornton and I came out and we did the PowerPoint presentation on what board norms are, and then you wanted us to come back and have a meeting with you to help develop the norms. So that's what you all will be doing tonight. But board norms are really just how you are going to decide to treat each other, communicate with each other, to help you function together as a board team. So I have some folders with some information that I'm just going to pass out to each of you. And I know you have some board members that aren't here, so I'll leave those for that. See them again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So, and then in there, I just have the presentation that we went over in October, which I know you all have, but sometimes I find it helpful to look at something and read it. So that just goes over again, like what they are, why you have them, and then there are some examples in here also, which I know you already have some norms examples, and then I also brought some boards norm samples. So what we'll do tonight is split up into groups. So since there are 6 of you, maybe we'll split up 3 and 3, and then I have some questions for you that are in your folders. And it's name 3 norms that you feel are important to the success of this group before a meeting, during the meeting, after the meeting, and for all committee meetings. So since we'll have 2 groups, maybe typically we'd have each group work on one of these sections, but maybe we'll split into 2 groups and each of you can work on 2 of these, if that's okay. And then in your folders also are some sample norms. And these are just samples, so you may have norms that aren't on any of the samples that you think of that you might want to bring up as well. And also in your folders are parliamentary procedures. So that can also be a norm as well. You can follow parliamentary procedures. Some boards have, the specific, like we're going to follow Robert's rules and their bylaws, but you can have parliamentary procedures as part of your norms as well. And that's a great little handbook. It has a cheat sheet of motions in the back that is wonderful. So I always recommend when I hand that out, it's one of my favorite things to hand out, keep it with you at a board meeting. That way you can reference it if you need to. And then I have my other favorite handout that I give out all the time. I usually give it out with ethics, but I don't think I brought it when I did ethics for all of you, but it's the who does what in public school governance. So that's a great one for new board members especially, but even seasoned board members as well to look at. So that's what we'll do tonight. Does anybody have any questions about norms or their purpose or anything before we get started? Okay, and do you want to, maybe we'll just split up like 3-3, or do you want me to mix it up, or do you want me to?
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I see the norms kind of built around a meeting. Do we also talk about norms, like ongoing norms that are not related to a meeting, or is
You
that
can
the
talk
before and
about
after?
communication, email communication, that's in the samples as well. How do you communicate with each other if you want something on an agenda or on a committee meeting agenda, or you have a question about something that's on the agenda? What are your mechanisms of communication? Like, do you call or email the committee chair, or who do you talk to? If you have a question for the superintendent, do you address it to the board president and then to the superintendent, or can you, what are your ways of communicating?
I think it might be helpful to also be able to talk about that and before, during, and after committee meetings, perhaps,
Okay.
as separate from board meeting? Or do you want both of those to be the meeting that we're talking about here?
We can do before a meeting, before a committee meeting, because that's important too. If you're going to a committee meeting, you also want to be prepared. Some of them can apply to both, like reading through all your materials, being prepared for the meeting. When you're at the meeting, listening to each other respectfully, talking one at a time. Like, those are things that can apply to both your board meetings and committee meetings. So,
Well,
Yeah.
ideally, what we want to do is we want to look at every scenario, because when we walk out of here, we want to have an idea of what we want to look at before the meeting, during a meeting, after the meeting, and for our committee meetings as well. So at least we have an understanding of what that means to us, especially since we've got 2 new board members here. And then we all can walk away feeling like, okay, I understand what the goals are, what we're trying to accomplish, and come to a mutual agreement as a whole that, okay, this is what we put together in our separate groups, but then we're going to come back together as a unity and all agree on, okay, these are what we've come up with split up groups. And then when we come together, if there's anything that we're missing as a whole,
oh,
we
definitely,
can also
talk
fill in
about
the
them.
blanks.
Yeah, of course.
So we have 6 people, so maybe we should do 3 in a group and 3 in a group, and
Yeah.
have one group do before and during, and one group do after.
Yep, perfect.
And
Yes.
for all.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and then
Yeah.
we'll come back together, maybe pick one person to speak for your group and
Right.
get up and talk about what you came up with. I would suggest maybe 3 to 4 norms for each one. And then we'll come back and talk about it, and then what I'll do is I'll write down what we did tonight, and then I'll email that to you
Okay.
tomorrow or the next day.
Okay.
All right?
And just in terms of the public aspect of this, if we're grouping up, do we need to have the microphone? I mean, how are we managing that?
I think we can split into groups and talk and you can have a discussion amongst your groups. I think that's okay.
And so would we go on break then?
You don't need to recess, but we'll stay up at the tables, but you
We
can
can
talk
stay here. We
amongst
can just split on
yourselves.
Okay.
the opposite side, so we're still in front and we're still having discussions,
Yeah.
and the public can still see us.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's do 3
You're coming
here.
back and going
Jen and I.
over what you discussed. So,
Right.
yeah.
All right. So Jen and I will come over to you. Sound good?
Good. And I have chart paper there, markers or stickers if you want to
I think it's fine.
mark off your favorite ones.
Cameras on.
Yeah.
Here. Doesn't matter. I don't care.
Matters. All right.
Danielle?
We'll cut her.
Yeah, go ahead.
Later, so it doesn't get all dried up and stuff.
Okay. It's also okay, we're chatting if you want
That what?
to. If you want to cut it now and
Oh, okay.
up to you.
Whatever. Hi, Sahil. So now that we have 7,
Oh, yeah, changes.
We probably, Jen, because we're both new, so it would probably be.
yeah, why don't you join us and we'll chat 4 and 3.
I knew.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there's one back there.
Do you want to pull it?
Yeah, there's one.
So maybe I'll pull.
Before a meeting and during a meeting? Sure. And do you want to take after a meeting or alternate And then if you're there, for example. You can take it.
Do you want to, or do you want me to write? Either one of you want to write?
Go ahead, you're the chairs. Both of you are chairs. Fine.
Do you want to?
Jen? Yeah. That cashed on both December 1st.
You see him.
Or it's,
Come on, come on.
you want to? That's right. It's better to look.
Yeah.
It's better to check.
This is what
Standing, I was gonna bring a chair around.
to kind of jar or match our minds.
If you see $320.32 in your bank statement on December 1st, it's you. Which would be better to know the rest of it.
Thank you for checking.
No, not a problem.
In regards to what that
Well, I
card
have-
looked like. You have it?
I have it all.
Great. Do you guys want a copy or no?
Yes, yes.
Is it one? It's really this.
So after.
We're doing it first.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just
First
things first. Examples of
No,
this
it's
just
really good though.
jar our minds in regards
It's
to
sweet, but it's good.
what that looks like.
Board meeting
We're doing after.
before the
Okay.
meeting.
That's us.
Yeah, I think we're doing after and for all committee meetings.
So we're doing before, during.
Board of Ed and committee.
Yes. Okay. That's how I'm thinking about it.
Okay. I'm gonna split my.
So we're just kind of coming up with.
So if we're looking at after meeting, then what are some of the things that we want to do as a group? Support decisions of the board.
Well, I have a easy
time
suggestion
rules.
before both committee and
Oh,
board of
yeah.
ed meetings.
Well, this was.
Read your materials.
You know, all these are good.
Is there anything specific that we want, I mean, we could keep them all and then, add.
Anybody
or
have any
just
issue with that one?
modify. These were just examples of
So-
what other
I don't have an issue with that, but I do have,
people had in different districts.
This one's
Compiled.
interesting. The second one,
like a end to that.
because that,
There's a lot of,
It's intentional.
no, yes, but I mean, like, is that like, if you start getting
Acronym.
text
Board
messages
packet.
from board members,
anything to me still.
ask you to make decisions on stuff outside of a
like-
board meeting and committees,
I think we should be a little bit more explicit about
'cause that's a big no-no.
supposed to speak.
Well, no, the respecting
Not just
time and rules by
read
avoiding
everything.
individual requests outside
Seems
of
like there's a
established
lot of everything
processes.
all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
that's,
I would,
I think it's exactly what
like,
you're just saying. 'Cause you wanna,
Okay, yeah.
you wanna encompass every possibility of, how it would impact the suggestion outside of what we've.
Right.
What did they do? They just
Yeah, like if something
the
gets
agenda.
brought up outside of a committee or
agenda.
board meeting,
And so if you have.
somebody says
And-
something, whether it's through text message, phone call, or whatever, you're really supposed to refer
they-
it back to, let's get the
We
chair of
say
the committee
for, like,
involved and let's
Board of
get it
Ed
on an
meeting.
agenda, so the
Right. We say
committee can
to
discuss
read the
it. 'cause
agenda and
Everything
review
has
all
to go through the
attachments in
committee
the board
structure.
packet folder in the Google
You're
Drive.
not supposed to be like
or everything would be.
discussing.
Yes, we should say that.
Okay, so read the agenda and review
Well, you can
attachments.
discuss whatever with each other.
But
but you
making
can't,
agreements or
yeah, you can't
decisions
say
as-
like, yeah, I'm gonna do
Word.
this, or yeah, I agree
Without
to
it being
that.
a
and-
whole board decision.
Right, because too,
Or a committee.
Google Drive for that meeting.
right, because think of it this way, you
only need Word
might
for that
have
meeting.
just a certain amount of information, right, which
lot
is
of-
why the board
a lot of
president isn't supposed to call each one of us
For that meeting
individually
date.
and ask us, hey, this is gonna happen, how are you gonna be with this? And they give you a certain
have
amount of information.
And
Well, I mean, they shouldn't ask you how you're gonna be about it, because if you come to a board meeting and then you hear other board members' perspectives, you might change your opinion.
Here, just in case
But
we
then
wanted
what,
to
you're
write
giving
some.
the board
things down
president
before
like
we
a
put it on
solid
here.
yes, I'm gonna vote yes on this, you see what I'm saying? So you're not, like, sometimes that has happened, right, where like, you're given a certain amount of information because it's only two people talking about something.
The minutes should
Then-
be in the board packet.
Right, and then when you get into a
minutes aren't
committee, you have
enough,
more
and
people,
you
so you hear
could
different
go into the
perspectives.
committee
And then when you come
and
to the
see if there's
full
extra
board, you
information
hear
there.
even more, and then you
Maybe
might go like,
something's
you know what?
confusing, Or is something got
Right,
missed in the
and
minutes.
then-
The minutes
right.
should be in the board.
So. Oh, yeah, here, go, we can sit there.
That way,
Sit there.
that way we can still stay in the view, and I don't get it.
We did.
So, like, sometimes too, like, some people might set
the
up like a
agendas
text
are
group
gonna
or
be-
something like that, and try to like get you to,
So not all the minutes.
hey, we
on
want to
time.
make a decision about this.
January's
but
always a little-
It's not a committee, it's, you're having a committee
Everybody's
meeting.
learning
it's
and
not-
everybody's switching roles, and
And it's
January's
kinda
never really
like,
super smooth.
it's not the way to
next
do it.
February will be better.
Everything through that committee that it's supposed to.
Right, and it's supposed to be listed on an agenda so that the community, like, if anybody ever wants to see the agendas or whatever, like, they see that this was
Read the agenda.
discussed, and then it's read through the minutes, and then, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Through the agenda, read the attachments to the board agenda.
I
The
understand.
board packet in the Google Drive for that
Wondering
meeting.
if things are done that way sometimes because it may cause things to run longer and or cause, what if there's a
Do
difference?
they all go to Dr. Glazer though?
that's okay.
Okay.
It's okay to have a difference of opinion.
And you want that, because you want those discussions with the more free than the aspect of hearing all individuals.
Right.
So it's a good thing.
Like
Obviously respectful, but some conversation.
there was before you guys were on the board, there was a discussion as to whether or not we were going to continue to let the kids have off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And they were talking about trying to save days
try
on
to
the
clarify
calendar. And they wanted the kids
ask
to
questions
come in
before the
because
meeting.
day of service, so they wanted them to do
Direct
something. And
questions to
I had a very big difference of
the
opinion
chair, the president, or the.
on the matter than other board members, but it was handled in a pretty respectful way.
Questions can be
so-
directed to committee chairs,
didn't
board of
happen.
ed president,
But
Yes, or
my,
vice
my opinion was pick a different day.
superintendent. We're allowed to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Pick a different day.
Ask who you want.
So,
There's no restrictions on.
you can
You're allowed to
handle
talk
things
to
that way. It's just like my thing was like the respect for time and stuff. Like sometimes like
The chair would be the.
we're all
person who-
busy and when you're
Right, because
getting
they're the ones who wrote it.
Something that you
a
asked
lot,
for.
we try to keep it to a minimum with each other. And then like if you're in like a big tax group and stuff like that could take up like a whole afternoon of people going back and forth about stuff. So it's like
One of them, and then
that's why you're not really supposed to do those things, but
You know, and some of these other things that are listed under these other categories don't necessarily, yeah, they could also, you know, fall under any of these other ones. So, you know, we can look at all these different areas and then also.
Just for.
Not,
I mean, I
not
think this
specific
first
to
one
our
is
board, but
huge
New Jersey
because
School
we've
Boards
had
Association
issues in the
has one.
past of that where like a board member
general-
potentially doesn't get their way or their perspective on
I'm
something.
trying to think of a question you would only ask.
But the majority of the board decides to go a different way.
Question
Then that
would be
board
about
member actively
committee
works
schedule.
against every single thing that the board is doing
chairs would
because
ask.
they didn't get what they wanted. So
Sometimes.
that can create issues.
Move things
I think
around.
like that first one
That's
is,
huge.
yeah,
Do
it's
we want to
really
keep
big.
it with that same verbiage? Support decisions of the board, majority recognizing that the board.
Yeah, I think that's
That's
good.
one.
Yes, that sounds good to me. Support the decisions of the board.
I mean, even the respect to women roles by avoiding individual
is. Ask
requests
questions ahead of
outside
time to
established
allow for research
processes
as a
are
request
even
for information.
important with like the
Being
administration.
mindful to form the policy.
Because you could have board members like individually calling Julie or trying to call Karen or something and like, you know, just requesting certain things. Like we've had that too in the past. Like
Yes,
you just like
it's
make
the thing.
so many demands about certain things that it's like, you know, they don't have that many people in the board office to do all this stuff sometimes. So I think that understanding that there's a small administrative, you know, support team there is important. And that's something that I had to keep reminding certain board members of over the years because they treat it, sometimes people come in and they treat it
Really,
like
if you ask
a
the wrong-
corporation.
Such a
And it's
direct-
not, it's just like Julie, you know, like you can't drive them
some work
crazy, like, they still have to run a school system, you know?
Right, right.
So, I mean, they would make sometimes these just like these outlandish requests of like all this, I don't wanna say data, cause data is important, but just like just overwhelming amounts of like materials that they were requiring for things. And I mean, it really drove some of the
I also-
administration
It's
to
really
where
super
they
important
wanted
to
me
notify the
left
president
district.
if you're not gonna make it.
So.
Because there were
I
many,
think
many
it's
times
not,
where
that's
we
not only for
barely
us,
had a
it's
quorum
also
last
like
year.
how we behave with
Because
them.
of-
So,
Um,
I don't know if we want to add that into it, like, into that second
What was it,
one.
the second one? What was the, second, what did?
No, we just have to re-notice it.
Just like who, like, you know, for maybe somewhere in there, like fellow board members and
Like
administration.
the whole process. I think we're allowed to recess for 30 minutes to see if people can make it.
Or maybe we shouldn't say administration, we should say superintendent, because if we say administration, people could presume that it's, like we're calling up the principals.
In emergencies, you can do it right away because we did that when the rainstorm. We held them, nobody could
So
get.
I'll write this down
So
here,
we held the
and then
meeting
when
the
we're done,
following
we
day.
agree that
We
we're
did an
gonna,
emergency.
so that way we can have a big discussion and
Because what's a
do our final product.
state of emergency?
Okay, so the first one was,
Notify president.
There's also for the presentation, there's some more examples for
Oh,
board meetings.
yeah, yeah,
And then there's,
This
since you're
one
doing
after one.
also
Yeah, I saw
after a
that.
board meeting, there's also some more examples in here for after a board meeting. They might overlap with some of the other sample list that was in your folder, but there's ideas on here too,
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah.
So this one, just even some verbiage that
Yeah, yeah.
pick and choose and build.
I mean, that first one is nice. That's like the first one that you
For
have
outcomes
here.
determined by, yeah, that's pretty much the same thing.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah, and that, right, they have it in there to respect the time
One
of the
thing, yeah,
board
read the
team
agenda and review the
administration.
attachments in the committee folder in the Google Drive for that meeting, right?
So we don't have to, you don't have to rewrite it, it's already there.
But you should also let your chair know if you.
What is it, like, third to last?
Yeah. Yes,
Third
it's
to
the
the last one is the after the board meeting.
There you go.
Oh, here we are.
So how many are we trying to take away?
I don't think
What
we
about
have to take
adding?
away any of them.
adding
I think they're all
agenda
good.
Committee meeting.
Whatever applies is.
Should we put something down about that? If
Yeah,
you
I
wanted
think
to
so.
add something to finance committee agenda, you really have an issue that you think should be addressed.
I mean,
how would you
normally
go
like
about
this one I don't
adding it
find
to the
be,
committee agenda?
it's good to have,
Contact the
but I've never seen an issue with it. So it's good to have it on there, like at a board meeting, like sometimes like you might say,
add agenda
the
items.
chair of a committee, like,
First.
hey, I'm interested and can you guys follow up on this topic in your committee? And normally the chair of the committee will make a note of it and then we'll make sure that it's on the agenda. So that's part of this one, right? Where that could be an example of it.
So you're saying take responsibility for the committee, follow through the
Yeah, you have that one too, here, follow through on agreed upon, because it's like if you're being
Might hear
tasked
things like
with
if you're paying
something at the
attention to
board
like
meeting, it's
the
usually like a
legislature,
chair
that
of the
also
committee or the
sends
board
stuff. I
president,
was
like,
not
can
on
you
the policy committee,
you
but
make sure we follow up on this
is
in,
coming down the
you know,
pipeline.
the committee meeting,
See
and then
from other
actually
districts.
doing that. Like, I've never seen an
Policy.
issue with that,
By
because
email,
usually
and I
if it's
just sent it all to
said
the
at a
policy
board
chair.
meeting,
And FYI, right,
it's like everybody know, right, it kind of
You're held
makes it,
accountable and
right,
it's
right.
sealed.
So that's, I mean, it's a good one to just have on there for people who don't necessarily know, but.
So in that scenario, if a board member approaches the policy chair
I
about
mean, this one supports
wanting to add something to the
intense
policy
school and
agenda, then the
district
chair
events
and the
with possible
superintendent should have a discussion.
I think that's,
About it. Feasible, appropriate, need more information first.
I agree. I don't think, because, I mean, there have been board members who haven't come to anything. And it's because they just can't. You know what I'm saying? It's like some of them travel a lot or whatever, and it's like, right, and some of them don't have kids in the schools. It's easier for some board members who have kids, because you're attending some of those events anyway. One thing that happens, which I don't think happens anymore, because I don't get emails about Bayberry anymore because I don't have kids there, but I get all the Valley View ones. In the past, what we would have is the principals would send all the board members the information of all the events that were happening. So you guys get that for Bayberry, right? Like where you're like, these are some dates you should whatever. And I get that for Valley View. Since we had board members who didn't have kids, they didn't get any of those things. So they had no idea what was going on in the school district. So we made sure that the principals always emailed every single board member, and whether, I mean, not that I wanted to get that many emails, but it helps, like, because if you knew there was a spring concert going on or something at Bayberry and you don't have kids there, it made it nice for you to go like, you know what, let me go check it out, you know, like, maybe we just supported something, you know, at a board meeting, and you're like, I want to see how this played out. So that, I think, was good, and that doesn't happen anymore, so.
Well, because they had us add it to the bottom.
I remember it was you requested.
Yeah, but it's not the same as when you get the email from the principals that then, because we get them as parents reminding us of things, and that helps every, yeah, and what if you
I'm
know.
not disagreeing with you, just know that some of your colleagues just.
I wanted to touch.
That's how we went.
Just because they want it or not doesn't mean they shouldn't get it. They don't have to read it.
I wanted to backtrack a little bit because
Then also,
I understand that a lot of board members can't come to things, but if they don't have kids
but there's a
in the
bunch of stuff
schools,
after.
that's even more of a reason to try to
Resources
attend those
is
events.
good.
That's specifically because you're going to be voting on things that concern them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Staying
So
involved with them.
yeah, so I kind of think that like
Ultimately,
I don't think that you should come to all. Like, you don't have to
Yeah.
come to all the events, but definitely like show your face to a few events so that you can kind of also grab the ear of the people. Like they, you know what I mean? Like
Some of them don't want to hear. Some of them don't want to hear what people have to say, the things. I mean, I agree with you.
I
Like,
think of it as
yes,
collaborative.
and generally, I agree with you.
I'm
But I
not
have to
saying it's
say
not-
that I have experienced extremely supportive, well-informed board members who have not attended anything, and they're very passionate about the kids. It's just,
The what?
you
schedule
know,
just went off.
right, and like, because some of the people like
Oh, yeah,
on the
yeah.
board, they might have, you know, very like high-powered positions or whatever, where they're like, I mean, one woman, you know, she worked from home, but she traveled a lot, and she was in meetings at all different times, like, because she was international.
Okay, so all
So,
different types of
it was really tough for her, but she was totally supportive of like everything.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not.
And she loved hearing about
So
all
we
the
have-
stuff that was going on too.
So we have, so we have to finish this, and then we gotta do the second
other one,
portion of
yeah.
it. So-
Oh, sorry.
So we've got three so far, right?
Well,
So
we
we've
did the
got-
ones we
Yeah,
did.
no,
So the
I'm not
first
asking
one, which
to be like
was,
only one person can do it. I mean more so like who's on the hook to make sure
Yeah, the
I's are
respective
dotted
time.
and T's. Yeah, like
Do we
yeah.
have to rewrite all this?
have to, but
We
I
got to
mean,
narrow
you
it
know.
down. So
Okay.
A and B.
I can't think of anything else after a board meeting that's
Sheen.
on here, that's not on here. I mean, yeah, this is nice to like to do
She writes up the
your
agenda.
professional development.
So
Move on from the.
You know, one of the hard.
mhm.
Doing that, telling you what.
Have a drink.
Supporting, yeah, well.
Have a drink. That should
have fun
definitely be
together.
on there,
You make
yeah.
hard decisions. You have to enjoy each other too, like have your cake. But
For whatever. Like you could go into the.
Yeah, that's
a tough one
huge.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that should be.
That's definitely, that's why that's number one,
Yeah, that
right
is.
there.
Yeah, because a lot of it's hard. I've been on the.
Those are things either we've already talked about, we're probably.
Yeah, actually, that was our
But
first,
publicly, you have to support it. You have
Yeah.
to support what the majority of
Other things
that was our first one that we chose, so that's definitely must.
about,
Respect.
I think you're asking though, who writes the agenda?
Or who
We wanna keep that.
Creates
Who
the
is-
actual document.
from a norm perspective.
I think that's
think so,
important
too.
because there have been,
Making sure
there
that the
has
other
been
members
definite
have what
like
they need.
abuse.
We're talking
of that
about
over the
have to
prepping
go
to
in
read the
the
I think
materials,
it's
right?
important for
But
them.
you can only do that
people
if
to
they're available,
understand
so what
that,
is the norm for making sure they're available?
Back through committee or.
So we just came into this year, so.
Yeah. Follow through on agreed upon responsibilities. Did we agree, did we say yay, nay, or that's just kind of a simple thing?
Or which ones?
Take
Follow through
responsibility.
on agreed.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, I think that should, to me, like, okay, Liz, you think it's common sense, but you can't assume anybody
we
has
need
common
to-
sense, so I would leave that one too.
Okay, so
I think the only one we were questioning was the fourth one, is if we want to put that on there.
Well, always strive to develop professionally, or no?
No, support and attend school and district
trying to do a
events when
question mark.
possible.
I mean, that's not bad. I mean, it's when possible, so it doesn't mean it's like have.
we don't have to put that on now. I mean, if we get together
I
and talk
think-
about
I
it
thi-
as a group, then we can always add that back on.
I
if we
like
want to.
that language better than this one. Be dedicated to supporting and attending school functions. Because I feel like this sounds like a must, where that one is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
you know,
that
It's
one
just a
sounds like a
friendly-
mandate,
right,
yeah.
right.
Chill. We strive to
I think the question he's asking is, who does the job?
and commit to ongoing
Get
professional
posted,
development.
agendas posted.
Same thing, pretty much. Most same, they're just a little bit different.
Yeah, I think I have a drink afterwards. It's always a good one to add, but we
put
should
that
not
down.
do that. It's like an unspoken rule. Well, I mean, they have these, so do you want me to just put this down? But then we'll change this
use
one
the-
to that one. So I'm just gonna put support, respect, take
we
B,
feel
but
like
for
there's-
B, I'm gonna write
That
this one.
Wednesday
So
or
in
whatever day it was when I was in Orlando,
just trying to
that's a regular thing. That wasn't.
It's just for us to know.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said that.
I mean, I like the idea of that, so that's probably, like, I would like to write that down.
I think
Say
this
it.
is, just trying to think if there's any scenarios after your meetings.
Oh, here we go.
Think of it like a, go into.
It's just like reflection.
So I have,
Back out and
reviews agenda,
ideas to like,
or BA.
reserve something
Want to put in the
after the board.
meeting,
the
a review meeting,
agenda.
a review meeting prior to the committee?
You know what, since you're maybe saying that, sometimes you don't say things during a board meeting because you don't think of it at the time. So maybe we should add something that's in there that says like, you know, to contact
Chair
the
reviews
chair of the committee if there, or the board president, if there's
All committee members need to see it.
question about something
item
that
board
happened during the
committee
meeting,
packets.
or, you know, if you didn't think of something and you want somebody to follow up on it or whatever, like,
goes into the
you would always contact. Like, because sometimes you
Notify.
don't know what committee, if, like,
Yeah,
you're
if
like,
you
what
wanted
would
to,
this
I
be
don't know.
discussed? So you call the board president.
If we
you
set a
talk to
process
them.
by
So
what
I
day
would
it
say
should be
like
in
the
there.
committee chair or the board president, and then, you know, if you want something to be followed up on,
Could send a
or
reminder email.
like that you didn't think of during the meeting.
So like going through the chain of command, so remember to follow the chain of command, I guess. In essence,
Most likely.
avoid any,
If there's any
Yeah,
Policy wouldn't have any,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
ideas, kind of just
unlikely, last petitions. And then the
Why
committee,
don't you guys do that? Hold on, let me write this down.
um,
You guys figure, but you understand what I'm saying, right? Like, you don't think of something during the meeting, but then you think of it after, and you're
Getting
just
the
like,
minutes in
oh,
on
you know
time."
what? This would be a great idea. Hold on, who do I call for that? Or send an email to or whatever. Communicate in some way, right?
so then you're gonna get a phone call from Danielle.
You just said something about when minutes are, what was the other thing you said?
meeting or meeting,
For the minutes are due?
the
We were saying,
ideas after board meeting.
I'm not stating.
I encourage when you begin.
We're gonna say that
Reviewed
we're gonna,
with
chair
her
should be
or
meeting with the admin.
Right.
I would,
The week
I would say
prior.
be encouraged to share your ideas after.
By the,
meeting.
I don't know,
No.
either that week or the beginning of the following week.
Not encouraged because then it's
I
like,
mean, I would,
you're like,
yeah.
you're,
I would.
Right, because you want to try and do it during the board meeting, but it's just like if something comes up, and we've all experienced that, right? We're just,
There has to be
as an after.
right, right.
Sure.
but most of it.
Right, and then the chair can then
So ideas
say,
after
go. This way, I don't want to review something on a Monday if it's going to change Monday.
Also,
I'm saying I don't want to regularly do that.
When it comes to
oh, I'm gonna, hold on.
read, you may want to read what's there and then know, okay, there's another thing.
Oh, the one that I'm on. I was gonna add on here, but
Yeah.
you guys wanna, like, I can put on here to discuss
Right.
getting
One of my pet.
like event emails from principals, because we used to do that if everybody, like, to discuss going back to getting that, and if everybody wants it, that's fine, if people, like, if,
I think
nobody- like, you know what I'm saying, if everybody's like, no, we don't wanna do that.
How about an
That would be,
email?
like,
Well, the way
adding on
finance
to
was agreed
this.
upon is most of the
Because you're
materials should
gonna
be there
have
by
some
end
people
of business.
who
Right.
So you don't, everybody knows that.
aren't gonna know.
I don't send out an
Regardless
email.
on
However,
if
something
there's
gets added
dates
on
to
Monday,
remember at the bottom
Tuesday,
of committee
Wednesday,
agendas.
So,
an email is generated to let everybody know there's been an addition to the packet.
right, is that a second one, or is that in?
Is that what you're trying to get
It's
at?
not in addition to
Yeah,
that, that's it. Do you want me to just put
Yes.
on for us just to discuss?
No, I'm
that with
saying,
these
no,
guys?
no, I'm saying
We're gonna put everything on here that we want to,
either me
These
as
I'm
the
not gonna
chairman
change,
or
because this
me
will
as
be what's written here.
but
is taking direction from the chairman. I would like to hear from the chairman on that Friday afternoon
and you have good handwriting,
what the state of the agenda is, so I'm prepared for,
So you want an
Changes.
email.
unless you wanna read it.
like, hey, we're 95% locked in.
Loud.
Have
I
at
could
it.
read it out loud instead, just because I'm not gonna fit all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
What
writing
is
too
your-
big.
what's-
I listened to you. You said ideas of as an afterthought should be directed to the chair.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah,
So, and I think it's important that we.
right. I'm
But
not
I
saying
like, no, I like what you're saying. You're saying that
The way that we've.
It will be.
chair
chair
should,
should let, the chair
Right.
should let the group committee know when the packet's ready for review.
and the chair
Right, or
should
like on Friday,
be.
if it's not ready
falls
for
under
review, there's some waiting.
That's, I would say that's important, because if what we're saying is we're
Otherwise
gonna
we handle-
develop it on Wednesday, it'll be posted by.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Unless-
I mean, it's usually like, you call the president when you can't.
Right, yeah,
figure out
like
what
that caveat's
committee
always
we're
there.
going.
That's what I'm saying.
Chair
So
being the most
I
sort
think
of.
you're safe and safe.
But even still, you could probably call a chair of a committee and be like, hey, would this be in your committee? Like, I want this to be discussed, whatever.
From at like 9 a.m., but on
Maybe just
Friday,
leave it as chair of the committee.
unless there's a change.
Right.
Yeah, let's do that.
And there's a change, you would like.
You do, we all provide.
So the committee chair can.
Oh, I did exactly what you said. Ideas as an afterthought should be
You always
directed
do.
to the committee chair, or board president, but you said lead board president.
So I didn't add in the minutes next time. Sure, that's after the meeting.
Which isn't us. You don't have to worry about it. Wait, are we on to during the meeting?
Helps
So,
out.
so get it all? Get all the
so.
befores?
Being a new person.
You can always come back to it
Or at least I would
during the meeting.
Yeah.
During the board meeting.
Be respectful.
Like,
Be an easy one.
How about follow?
like you were saying.
Yes, follow Robert's rules.
Think about doing.
Yeah, because people
Resource.
will call you and be like, hey, da, 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 and then
Not
you just,
us, previous board.
you know, I didn't think of it that way. Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
No
but you gotta make the chair of the committee aware that you,
calling people out and trying to embarrass
Do we
people.
want
you
any
want
more, or
that,
we wanna
uh,
move to the next one?
so is that a good one?
I think so.
I guess, okay. Oh, wait, but I gotta
Oh, yeah,
add
you
that
gotta
in.
write that in.
Hold on, strive is gonna be the same,
Audience member.
because we agreed about the professional.
That is actually one that, when somebody's speaking at that podium, we all need to be very respectful. It's hard to get up there and speak.
I don't know what we would, wait, do you have, who has the language for the other one? No, no,
Even
the one that you guys were working
presenters.
on.
Oh, yeah, I like her.
Even things from our own administration, state of the budget,
Ideas
state
as
of the district,
thought
whatever. If somebody's up there speaking,
to the committee chair.
everybody needs to be listening, paying attention, not on their phones. That camera catches the phones.
I know I'm bad at this, so I'm just curious if there's a way to put this down on paper, like, don't, unnecessary is the wrong word, but ask.
Am I spelling that right?
Yeah,
No surprises.
It's more of a no surprises
Maybe
thing. Like, so those
I
questions,
should draw a picture of a chair.
if you're
Right? I probably could have fit that in
We
other
know
than the
that you're an
word.
artist here, so.
So I think that's good for the, because I can't think of anything else like after a
Yeah,
meeting.
well, and then
And you guys don't want to add the drink idea, so no fun.
We should have.
I'm
What
kidding.
about the for all committee meetings?
You should tell them first.
Oh,
And research it and be prepared. You're not supposed to.
so this is just the regular meeting, before a meeting, during a meeting.
Lord.
Questions or
And for all, the norms for all
What are we running?
So there was another, there were some committee meeting
For all
ideas
committee
in there
meetings.
too.
That makes sense. The part about the asking questions that, like, the purpose of your question shouldn't be for your own, for only your own sake.
Notify the chair
For the purpose of
things like
informing other board members and the audience. Sorry, and the community.
This is your.
I think even the school boards talk about grandstanding. It's where you like commiserate with, say, like a public speaker. Oh, I know, I feel your pain and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
No.
Ask appropriate, thoughtful questions.
Oh. You have to be holding a trophy.
It's like the conch. It's the
Yes.
conch that we pass around.
appropriate, thoughtful questions.
Or like common sense.
No surprise.
Oh, just
Wow.
for during the meeting?
Put in no surprises somewhere. I think we all kind of know
Well,
that anyways, but.
no, I was saying,
Doing the agenda.
ask questions
It's like in the middle.
are,
Yeah, and there's more here too.
I don't, it's
Not
obviously.
self-serving?
Right,
You
but,
mean?
no, but, like, obviously, there's gonna be questions that are to know the answer to, but
Lord.
some aspect of it,
It's gonna be
During committee
big.
meetings? That's what it is?
responsibility to,
And why am I gonna have
Question.
glue all over me?
towards the responsibility of informing not just yourself, but others, meaning other board members, audience.
I'm over anchor charts. I do them all the time. I'm so sick of it.
She said, look at these too.
You're asking a question because you feel the answer.
Rules of the road, like that type of stuff.
Helpful to.
Right, but, and I'm not saying,
Just when you take that one.
I guess,
Oh, here, the one that you have on here, come prepared.
dialogue in
Review
front of
the
everybody,
agenda materials, notify
make
the
everybody
commissioner in advance.
smarter,
available to
not
attend.
word, I guess.
Listen
is my point.
thoughtfully to administrative recommendation. You know what, I have to say that the notify the chair in advance if unable to attend.
That's huge.
Yes. I mean, I haven't had an issue with this, but I found it
Lots of
interesting
cursing. Just kidding.
in the past, when you notify the chair that you're not gonna be able to attend, normally the chair reaches out to alternate board members to see if they're able to attend.
Questions and dialogue,
We don't, we have been asked as the board member ourselves to then start calling other people
aim to
find
inform
out if we
towards-
could attend.
I think honestly, I feel like that's, if you're gonna be gone, why should the chair?
Why should you have to replace it? There's 4 people in a committee.
Every
If one of
committee-
you
my
is
committee
gonna,
doesn't have.
but if one of you is gonna be gone, you can still conduct business even if it's with 2 people.
Yeah, I think something about being respectful, not purposefully embarrassed.
Discuss that right now. If you wanna make a change.
No, but I mean, like, we can add that in. No, but
Respectful of everyone's opinions.
we can add that in. And, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Like, if it, I mean, you can see. Like,
So what are you saying?
So
What
like I
would you
did it
like to
already,
see?
like I'm not able to attend some policy meeting, so I sent, I think Adam might be the alternate. So like I send Adam, I just send him an email and I say like, hey, listen, these are the dates I'm not gonna be there, are you able to attend? If he says yes or no, okay, but
I'm
like,
trying to think back, because we had that civility goal.
if he doesn't, I'm not like reaching out to anybody else, I'm like, whatever. I don't know if that's necessarily the right thing to do,
Well,
but.
why don't you put that down as, something that we can talk about, because
That's kind of what what Rich was saying too.
Right,
discussions to come
see, like,
upon an
is that,
agreement if we
like,
need
do
to
we
change
really
something.
have to
And
have
articulate.
4? Like, you're gonna have the committee meeting
Word
anyway.
articulate.
Like,
So
cause you
let's-
have to.
Let's put it down to, and have that discussion.
So
that's
hold on,
important.
that's, notify the chair, right? So we like the first one, come prepared, having reviewed the agenda materials, right?
Yes, that's extremely.
Right.
I'm just gonna write come.
No,
That's it?
No.
You want me to rewrite the whole thing?
But doing,
we're doing after the
Oh,
meeting
you
and
didn't
for
say
all.
no to
for
me.
all committee members.
Okay.
You didn't say no to me.
Um,
I was like,
You could put in Robert.
Oh,
I'm
no,
gonna
no,
write
you
the
don't.
whole thing, and then I realized you were saying no to them. I didn't know they were asking us anything.
I'm
Okay,
surprised.
so I'm
I
just
said-
gonna write come here, because
I
this
said
is.
Purpose,
I said no.
communication.
You said no to this for a meeting? You want me to write this whole, come on. I can look at this and cross-reference the paper.
Respect, sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna write come.
Another one's-
Yeah, no, I know, it's not that, it's
Well, it's
just gonna keep it.
short.
Okay, so then you guys keep going and I'll write this out.
I'm prepared.
You put that in the committee meeting, like, to make sure that each person has had a chance.
It's a policy that
I
we.
think that's kind of a good thing for the chair to do if someone's not said anything.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we wanna talk about.
Yes, the chair, people in your group, I don't know, but, if somebody's in, that's what meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, Dawn often said, like,
Those are
once you've made your point,
strong a bit.
it's more public. Once you've made your point, you can't keep repeating your point until,
All the time.
you can say your point and then you're done. You need to let everybody else
Must,
chime in without keep going back to.
town hall, local governance, focus.
And then did we put in being respectful to presenters and
Professional monitoring all individuals with disability and respect. I think that one. Yeah, team.
I really, I could always tell when I was sitting
Be looking at. Took yours. I didn't make
like
it.
that.
I tried
Oh,
to make
no,
her
it's not
copies.
that, I'm just saying like, yes, this is great, as long as we get materials in enough advance time to be able to give the chair any questions or concerns ahead of time. When you get things the day of a committee meeting, or not even an agenda, then I guess that makes this extremely difficult for us to do.
The,
I think
So we
should be responsible.
Discuss
for our own.
when materials should be provided to committee.
We're all adults.
Mm-hmm.
Board year, I know
Um,
we haven't been able to do policy on a night you can do it. But the week
we put in no surprises.
before meetings, and, meeting with the chairs,
That's great, we could discuss it, right, Julie?
we are, I just wanted you to know because.
Yeah, like it's fine to clarify what somebody said.
Well,
You don't like
there's more for you.
lob a bomb at them.
Explaining that, not
I did not specify.
Discuss when materials are provided to committee.
I have another idea too. I think we're just done.
We still have to do it
Is that-
during the.
Oh. I was gonna say for,
Yeah, we.
Wait, I gotta do, we were good with the notify, yes?
yes. That one's
yeah.
And then I'll put in
Um,
that we wanted.
Do we write something about the committee chair being responsible for developing a report for the board meeting? And if they're not going to be at the
So we
board
can at least,
meeting, that they need to.
an understanding and agreement with how it looks like for us.
I'm lost.
So, so what we just talked about,
For the board meeting.
Yeah.
so we have, so we agreed on,
Chair is
on
responsible
here
for
on
developing a
prepared,
report.
having.
Is that just the minutes?
For the,
By chair of
it
any
is and it isn't. You have a whole, but like, let's say personnel, and that whole thing's
five
confidential, you gotta figure out what you're gonna say.
attend, by chair, so we want to, when.
Chairs need to have a report ready to share at the meeting, and if they're not going to be at the meeting,
It looks like,
you need to find somebody to read it for them.
getting somebody to place. and then-
Notify
yeah.
somebody to, can't be at the
So we want more of a, as a group definition.
Real.
I consider the report separate from the minutes. The minutes
What
can
else
have
do we have?
stuff in there that you can't say at the board meeting.
Is it concise
I'm writing the
summary.
second one, but I'll put down, that we wanna discuss,
Elaborate.
yeah, like who is going to.
So if you,
Because where we have it
policy
set up,
chair,
it's
we're gonna
fine
miss a
if that's what
meeting,
everybody
you
wants.
should write out something easy.
I don't think
for
we've
someone else to
discussed
read.
it, it just was
Whether or
like
not
told to
general
us,
off of the minutes.
it's your responsibility to do this, and I was like,
It's
oh,
actually
it
very
is.
hard to do.
I think we just need clarification
My,
in
my
regards to,
responsibility is to tell you I'm not gonna be there, but sure, now you want me to make phone calls.
Understand what I mean?
No, I do.
Yeah.
That, I had a question.
Right.
That used to happen sometimes. I would be in the finance committee and not know the finance chair was not there. And like 2 minutes before the meeting started, I would be told you're reading the finance.
on that,
And they're in bullet point form, half highlighted, and I'm
Yeah,
trying
should I
not
have
to
to
look
find
at
somebody
it
to help you?
while I'm
or not, if you're not gonna be
going
there,
through
why
the
should?
report.
I'm
Like I
not directing
said,
it to you, I'm just
you
I
don't
saying.
was
have to
unprepared
find
to go.
anybody.
That thing,
Even if you don't find someone.
summarize the minutes for me.
You're still gonna have the meeting, because you gotta be able to put things through committee so that stuff can go on an agenda. You know, that's what I'm saying, it's like,
It's the same thing, be respectful, make sure everybody has a chance to,
so it's
their
okay.
opinions
It's-
are.
I mean, the only
Where
time
the-
that you
either-
have to reschedule probably a committee meeting is if like the president is the only one who's there.
Or the chair.
the chair is responsible.
You know, you got no other board members, you know what I'm saying, in the committee meeting, and then it's just like, we can't have this committee meeting, like, you know, and then you're trying to scramble to get everybody to say like, okay, can we have it on this day or that day, you know, like, but if you have like.
We could add in things like try not to go
president,
off
one board
topic.
member there, and it's a rare thing that happens, but it
Efficiency.
just happens, that way you have it anyway, so.
Just respect.
So you also do what's best.
Yeah, anything, like something along those lines.
Your board might not work for a different board.
Right, and what
Sometimes meetings
happens
can
in the
get
committee,
sidetracked, and then they end up, 4 hours
you
later.
don't make any decisions anyway, you bring it to the whole board, and the whole board, you can discuss it at the public meeting anyway. So, you can make the recommendation as the committee, like, this was the information we were given, like, you're doing the work, so to speak. So this is the information we were given, this is the discussion we had, this is the recommendation we're making for the board, this is on the agenda for us to vote on, but then, even if a committee makes a recommendation, it doesn't mean that that's what the board is gonna vote in favor of. You kind of hope that that's what's gonna happen, but, you know, that's not always necessarily the case. Or they might say, well, we don't wanna make this decision right now.
Originates.
We want the committee to go back and do X, Y, Z, and then come back to us again. And then
That all
after we
agrees.
find out this information, then we'll feel more comfortable making a decision on it. So it just depends.
I don't know. Who's responsible for?
All right, so what am I writing? Discuss
Whatever
who
on the committee,
who finds the alternate? Is
whatever
that what we're doing?
worded.
Yeah.
Agenda, excuse me.
Julie and our secretary.
Who?
Julie and our secretary.
Oh, okay, that's not.
Sometimes the lawyer. It's an administrative.
Unable to attend.
No.
Okay, so
Our
that,
way
I just want to make sure everybody is like, okay, yes, if it's the person who's not coming finds the alternate, that's fine. But like I said, I don't think it was
So it's-
discussed.
so it's the
This will be the
committee's
first time we're
responsibility to
discussing
review
it.
it, but
I
if-
think we were just told, so.
okay.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, yeah, the all-time ones.
But we were technically, we're not, because
Yeah, the resolutions are all.
Yeah,
There are
like,
some
if
boards
you
with
want, we can finish these and then look at the other ones to see if we wanna,
always similar anyway.
we can add some more stuff.
Really
Differently.
big districts have board members.
I'm gonna underline
this
stuff
one
again.
is huge.
Two systems.
And all viewpoints, information that students are centered.
Would you like
I wanna add that one to this one that says.
I nominate you as our speaker.
Consider thoughtfully all administrative recommendations and.
Seconded.
Somebody's got all the stuff on her computer.
Merge them or
Okay.
The question.
Be here longer, but.
Sign this.
You put you in the wrong group with me. She's just used to my. Wait, which one are you looking at?
Redirect. Okay.
Which one are you looking at? You're looking at
All the
this
time.
one.
examples all the time.
Right, which one?
But I'm looking at the second class.
Welcome input.
Maybe. Oh, I mean, I guess it's different stuff.
2/10/2026.
I was hoping to merge it. One is specifically the superintendent, though. You guys like that, these that are on here, yes?
Yeah, this.
Okay, okay.
All these.
Bring it up as part of the
Yeah,
discussion.
with these, I'm just rewriting them.
The other one, act as stewards of Texas. And effectively manage district.
So you stick to that.
Right, like in the scheme of things, right? Like, I have to focus.
Like,
Phone's on.
better.
Okay.
Act as
Also,
responsible
everybody
steward
heard me
of
say
district
we should have a
resources and
drink
taxpayer
after the
funds.
Sounds
meetings.
good.
'Cause then it's more,
Nobody's watching.
Yeah, go ahead.
Nothing, I'm talking about something.
And I don't.
what do you say? Does one is
No, I just said this microphone is on, and it's on.
That's supposed to be on.
Yeah, I know, so I said, everybody heard me say we should add in that we should all have a drink after. That's
Yeah,
okay.
like multiple times.
They'll be like, yeah, that's part of it.
I don't-
What?
Did you see your emails?
Are we even saying
See my emails?
work towards consensus?
I saw.
Did we already put serve as advocates and champions for students?
Yeah.
That's the
No.
first one.
No, we didn't put that one.
We didn't add that one on here
That's,
yet.
that should be like,
I thought we put some.
The
More than 5 minutes.
Word doc that you sent with the beginnings of the notes in it,
As we know.
is that what you
Because
want
we
me
might
to
wanna
add it
add some
directly
to the
into,
first one,
or
too, right?
send
Like
it-
after
we have
the
to
board
put
meeting, if you guys
five?
think any that you wanna.
Those minutes will go into the committee
don't forget, we're
folder.
gonna come together.
And
Yeah, yeah. Or do you want, I guess, let me rephrase. Do you want me to put them in and then put it in the folder, or you want me to send it back?
you have to send it to her,
Oh, okay,
the final version.
okay.
This one,
That's why I
Okay,
said
so
to
we-
you, if you want to use, just for, so you have
Yep.
to.
We have quite a few.
So are we're
we
not
just
allowed
wanna add
to,
on the welcome the inputting.
things in those folders?
Points,
Not currently, it's,
and that students are.
that's where it is right now.
at
She
the-
kind of wants to manage.
right?
That's fine, but are we,
Um,
and are we not allowed to edit things then either?
No, you just, like, what you have, you can edit all of it, right? And then you give it to the upload.
is that all?
Okay,
That's why I was saying, you can do whatever you,
got it, okay.
there wasn't any.
No, but
The yellow.
Because that
I
does
just
apply
meant
across all.
We went through everything, don't. Yellow,
what do you mean when we went through everything?
you got off, maybe that second.
Hmm.
Isn't that, like in the minutes, we
Uh-huh.
highlight
Oh,
what you
but
aren't reading.
I'll
I
review
said, I
that
don't
with him.
think there's
Yeah, it's
any-
It's
fine.
okay.
I don't think,
I didn't please you on the first one, but this one I'm trying to please
we
you.
learned.
Why would I want that? Yeah, no, it's fine.
With the,
I'll review that with Rich.
now I'm writing a little bit sloppy at the bottom because I can't brace
almost
my
there.
hands.
Dory's, we're
This is the
making her
last
write
one?
it all out.
It's a lot of writing. We should have typed
Want
it
me to
out.
read these? Okay.
Know what we're agreeing upon.
The Centaur.
Well, thank you for working so hard on those. So this group over here, you worked on the first two, right? Are you comfortable? Do you want to share what you came up with?
Sure. We didn't write it on that big pad. I didn't even.
It's okay.
So.
My
computer did.
Computer.
Oh, loud.
Before the board meeting. So Board members should read the agenda and review relevant attachments in the Google Drive for that meeting. Direct questions to committee chairs, the superintendent or BA. Ask questions prior to the meeting to allow for research of the requested information. Notify the president if you cannot attend a public meeting in advance. Arrive and begin on time. Let the super, BA, and/or board president know if you plan to vote no or ask questions during the public meeting. Chairs must prepare a report for the board meeting that is concise and excludes any confidential material from the committee minutes. Prepare an alternate to read that report if necessary. So that's before the board meeting. Before the committee meeting, read the materials and attachments in the committee folder. Alert your committee chair and president if you cannot attend. Board members should contact committee chairs with ideas for an agenda. An agenda review meeting with super and committee chairs takes place a week before the meeting, including any agenda ideas the board may have had. Super or BA will determine feasibility and appropriateness. The committee chair will alert the committee when the meeting packet is available or when new items have been added. That's what I've got.
Anyone have thoughts or discussion on those?
Read those again.
Yes, and then, I also have during the board meeting and during the committee.
Those, I'm sorry, can you just do it again? I'm sorry.
So, read the materials and attachments in the committee folder.
Wait, what is this one for?
This is for before
the board meeting?
Committee meeting.
Yeah, let's go, want to go one at a time, so we'll do.
You
We
guys
did
don't
before
have-
board and before committee, and then during
Just
board
looking
and
to
during
post it.
committee.
So you guys did them all.
We didn't do after any of the,
Or the all.
or the all.
That's fine.
No, what did you guys?
So you did before the meeting and during the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We did after the meeting and for all
all.
committee meetings.
okay.
That's right.
Yeah,
So
Let's
like
split
we
up
just did double work, but it's
they might be similar, there might be some overlap, that's okay. We can
Oh, for all
work it out.
committee meetings, I see.
yeah,
I see.
it's all right. It's all right.
All right, well, I'm sure we'll have overlap and we can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you have for before, you want to go over again,
Before the
before the
committee meeting?
board, before a board meeting?
Before a board meeting? Before the board meeting, read the agenda and review relevant attachments in the Google Drive for that meeting. Direct questions to committee chairs, the superintendent or BA. Ask questions prior to the meeting to allow for research of the requested information. Notify the president if you cannot attend a public meeting. Arrive and begin on time. Let the super BA or board president know if you plan to vote no on an item or ask questions during the public meeting. That's the preparation piece. Chairs must prepare a report, committee chairs must prepare a report for the board meeting that is concise and excludes any confidential material from the committee minutes.
That
Prepare.
was committee, I'm sorry, you said committee chairs.
Yeah, committee chairs prepare a report that's separate from their minutes for the board meeting, that is concise and excludes confidential material from the committee minutes. And then prepare an alternate to read that report if necessary. So give an alternate notice if someone needs to read those minutes for you. So that was before the board meeting.
So the only thing I would offer a suggestion on is the voting piece, only because a board member doesn't have to give a reason why they vote a certain way or they abstain or vote no. So you might not want to say, oh, if you plan to vote no, you have to say why or tell somebody, just because your vote is your own and you can vote your heart during the meeting however you want to. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say I would remove that.
Okay,
'Cause you don't have to tell anybody how you're gonna vote.
okay.
but definitely if you have questions about something, that's a good thing to have in there because it's always more efficient to ask questions before the meeting if you're unsure about something that's on the agenda. So knowing that you can direct your questions
Yeah.
to somebody and have them answer
However,
before the meeting. If you're unsure about something on the agenda, that's great.
If multiple people are planning to vote no on an item, right, it can be taken off the agenda and reviewed again. That can be addressed if there's if there's awareness, right? Is that not a common sort of norm?
Well, I mean, I don't think typically people, you vote at the meeting, it's on the agenda and then you vote at the meeting. Certainly if there's a lot of questions about something or if people don't feel they have information.
Okay.
If you're getting a lot of questions.
Yeah, You
But
can
yeah.
get a sense that way.
Yeah.
Like if people are asking questions or they're like, hey, I didn't get this, and, you know, I don't necessarily think that if somebody asks a question about an item and the question's answered sometimes during the board meeting, that sometimes isn't too enough time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the more advanced
can't-
people could be on things, the better.
Right, you can't always, you
Right.
don't always have that notice, for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess it
But
can't.
yeah,
be
I would
in that
take out
case.
like if somebody says they're gonna vote no, or, because they could say that too and then get to the meeting and vote yes. you
Right.
know? So
Mhm.
it's like,
Okay.
the other question I had was to contact the BA. Because normally, I mean, I haven't experienced that much because the BA isn't really somebody that we directly are involved with. That's with
Right.
the superintendent. So,
Right.
I mean, if we have to notify the BA of something, it's usually like we notify the board president and the superintendent, and then the superintendent notifies the BA.
Right, that's a good point. I had written that because knowing that the BA is responsible for the finance committee updates.
Yeah, but
But you're right, it should go through the chair or the super
the
first.
superintendent,
Yep,
yeah.
you're right. Mhm.
Right, and then you did, anyone else have any thoughts, questions on those? Okay, so, and then you did during the meeting as well?
During the board meeting, so follow Robert's rules for procedural norms. Be respectful to other board members, to the audience, and public comment speakers, presenters, and the superintendent. Ask appropriate, thoughtful questions. Do not surprise the board or administration with questions or comments that require research or preparation. Set an example for your district students. Questions and dialogue should aim to inform the public and be constructive in nature. Articulate content for public understanding is what's in your presentation. Ensure everyone's voice is heard. And that's really it.
Those are great.
One thing, actually, I don't know the answer, but one of them was don't ask. Was the one about asking questions that require research? What does that one say?
No surprises.
So it's like, we always say no surprises at the board table, and what we mean is like no gotcha, like not that you
No,
can't ask a
I know.
question.
I'm just, can you read what we wrote though?
The do not surprise the board or administration with questions or comments that require research or preparation.
So should we instead of saying, I guess my question is should that be do not or try not?
I would say try not, because
Yeah.
sometimes things come up.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like, even though research has been done ahead of time, if we get into full discussions during a board meeting and board members come up with other things, we might decide that, like I was saying to the group I was in, that we might decide as a board that we might want to vote down whatever the topic is, just for the fact that we want more research to be provided on something. So
Yeah.
I think Rich has a good point there, like make it try to. I understand what you're saying though, which is like people who purposefully come to the board meeting knowing that they've had questions and all this back research done weeks prior and then not even sharing any of it with the chair or anybody, and then coming here as like a got you situation, like look at how smart I am, I did all this stuff, and it's like for no real purpose other than that. So to avoid that would be great. Yeah, like we're supposed to be working together. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you want to ask just to be respectful, like for an example, if you get to a board meeting and you're like, well, why doesn't this, you ask your superintendent, why doesn't this water fountain work in this building? Well, that might not be something that they're going to know right off the bat or know what the situation is or what's going on. So it's really what we say, like no gotcha questions to your administration, or no, don't surprise each other either. It's just it's a best practice.
And I just would say, and I know, thank you for the Roberts Rules. After the last board meeting, we also posted a folder, you know that, so I'm thrilled that you found the pamphlets, because I just had it, a copy. But there is an opportunity to table a motion, like in that cheat sheet, so you don't have to vote it down, or the instructions for how to pull a motion if you needed more information. So I just wanted to,
Yeah,
I know
the
we didn't
last-
have that before, but we.
Yeah, the last 2 pages of the Roberts Rules booklet that's in your folder has a cheat sheet of motions on it. It's very, very helpful. Like I said, keep it with you. Because we don't expect you to know, to be a parliamentarian. No one expects your board president to be a parliamentarian or no. There's so many rules to Roberts Rules. You can really run your meetings with a basic set of them as long as you have a good idea, and a lot of it's in that. That's what it is. It's the basics of parliamentary procedure. So as long as you know the basics, you'll be okay. And we do have trainings on Roberts Rules, and at workshop, we will have sessions on Roberts Rules. And if you want to see it in action, the delegate assembly, which is May 16th, you will see parliamentary. Hopefully you're sending a voting delegate, but anybody can attend, and anybody can also watch it virtually, but you will see there's a parliamentarian there, and you will see parliamentary procedure run very strictly in action. It's really interesting.
And I did put the PowerPoint, the school board's PowerPoint on parliamentary procedure in
good.
the same folder.
Good.
Oh, I was gonna ask, did you have on there to articulate the content for public understanding? Did you have that in there?
I did, yes, I did.
'Cause I was gonna say that, like, just from, I mean, I've heard, like, committee reports read many different ways over the years. But I found that the community appreciates more detailed reports from us, because even though we're in all these meetings and we know what's happening and we know what's been discussed, sometimes when our committee reports come across as very vague, the community really doesn't understand what it is that we're working on or what we're discussing. So, and we've had community members get up in the past and thank certain board members for getting into more detail during their committee reports so that they could fully understand what it was that was being discussed. So, if that's part of that too, that would be great, I think. I mean, sometimes we can't, like, personnel, we can't get into details about things, but for other items, especially when we were dealing with, like, the operations and finance committee and stuff, we were dealing with more complex issues. The community appreciated us as board members getting into more detail and explaining it a bit more to them. So.
Yeah. I do think they should be concise, though, and I think can sometimes be hard reading an exhaustive minutes report for the audience to follow that.
So maybe like a happy medium where it's not so long-winded, but there's enough context in there that is we're able to share with the audience, and in addition to other committees that may just want to hear what that is.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I don't know if it's a process thing. Why don't we, since we have the meeting minutes ahead of time, why don't they just get printed into the agenda so that people can follow them? I've always thought that sitting in the audience, like, yes, it's nice to hear everybody's voices, but like, I stop paying attention for a minute and then I'm lost.
Well, it would need to be the version that is appropriate for public. So it would need to be that revised version, and it would need to be posted how soon in advance? Does it have to be 2
Public
days?
is 48 hours.
Okay.
Because it's gonna be read anyway, so.
That's a separate decision you'd have to make as a board, but some boards do that. I've also seen some boards do, a newsletter where they share it after their board meeting as well. So, but
Must have a communications person.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on? I think.
So
it's not a bad
I
idea.
think it's a good idea as long as it's your version, right? So you have the full minutes, right? but you're doing a
Right.
version to be read. Whatever that version is that you're agreeing to read, sure. We would just need that, when do you, I don't do this part, so I don't know the answer. When you're printing out the agendas for the table, so we would need that if it gets posted Tuesday, you print on, so we would need it Tuesday either way if it's an attachment. But to print it, it would be your Wednesday or Thursday?
I mean, it can,
I don't know, again,
Yeah.
it's your,
if it's ready and there's nothing going on other than printing, it can be same time.
I'm asking, does it
better to
need
give
to
a-
be posted
I
as
thi-
an attachment on the committee, like for
Committee.
each committee? That would have to be by Monday for Tuesday. But if it's just being printed to follow along, you'd need that just for the Wednesday or Thursday.
You'd need it for the Tuesday. It's got to be online as well if it's going to be available in person. So it might as well, the deadline might as well be Tuesday.
So then Tuesday's too late if you
Okay.
want it as an attachment, right? It would have to be Monday.
So that means, so minutes are due Friday from committee chairs. And so that Monday, then the report version, the public report version would need to be delivered.
Or
To
email Pinky, probably, the
Dr.
public
Glazer as
report.
well.
Pinky, right, Pinky
that-
will.
Because she would do
she
the
would set it up.
attachment, right, under the committee reports, part of the agenda. Which
Probably have to number it.
would, yes.
So if it has
Oh,
to be
so it has
numbered,
to-
we just
right.
have to be careful, because
Yeah, because when we
The agenda's
review
set up.
the agenda with you on Friday, the
Mm-hmm.
attachments are usually already, she would just have to leave a placeholder, right?
unless
We know which
call it
committees
A,
there are.
Unless we just number it with the
No, but I'm
committee.
saying you know what committees they are, so she could just build in the attachment. To be
But that means it
determined, I
has to-
think.
It has to be delivered, and the chairs can't be late on that one, right? Because it has to get posted with everything else. Is that something all chairs are comfortable with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and getting back to your norms, I think saying you'll articulate clearly is a good one. You want your norms to be a little bit general, so.
There was, Rich, since you're the chair of policy, it's probably like that committee and operations finance, where like if we're working on a policy and we've gone through it, I don't know how many times or whatever, you could have like board members asking questions, but I've seen a lot of the chairs of that committee sometimes get into more of an explanation of the policy for the public, so that they understood, what changes were made or like what we were voting on. So especially if it was a policy that might be more considered like a hot topic, so to speak, as opposed to, other ones, I guess.
As opposed to just policy 1298.
Right, like nobody's gonna know.
Like,
Short
like
description.
not just reading the policy, but having either like a layman's description of it or
Right.
an example.
Right, especially if it was like something that was, the community was very interested in.
Right.
Good.
And all of those are usually put as attachments too for the community to see, so they can see what policy we're working on.
And those are the first reading and second reading folders that are part of the
Yep.
agenda.
Right, other policies could come up in minutes in the report that aren't up for first or second reading, though, so those might not be attached.
No, those are the ones that, like you talk, like Dory was saying, you detail in the minute.
Yeah, so it's not everyone, it's just.
Okay.
What do we think that is? I'm sorry, I'll have to go check.
Everyone okay with those? So far, so good? All right, great. So your group did after the meeting. So do you want to maybe, if you want to get up here, since you have the big chart.
Oh, I'll just hold it. I don't know if they'll be able to see it. Okay, so some of them, well, I want you guys to see it too, so, yes. Some of them, for this one I didn't write, I'm sorry. but I'll read it off of the paper because we like the language that was on it that New Jersey School Boards gave us. So after the meeting, we definitely like the support one, which was support the outcomes determined by the board majority in recognition that we deliberate in 9 voices but govern in 1, and students are always at the center of our decisions. So we thought that was definitely extremely important for our board. Respect the time of our board team and administration by setting clear expectations of board member time commitments and not making individual requests for information or visits to the administration. The next one is take responsibility for the work of the team and follow through as agreed upon, the strategic focus to plan toward the future. B, we changed. We like support and attend school and district events when possible, and then discuss if we want to go back to having the administration send out the event emails that we get. So in the past, I was telling them we got emails from the principals, whether, because some board members don't have kids in any schools, so they don't get anything that we get. And then some, like even if you had kids in Valley View, but you didn't in Bayberry, you'd still get the Bayberry emails from the principals that told you about the events that were happening then. Julie said that there are like upcoming events on the committee, like agendas. Sometimes, I said there are sometimes that's not enough. I know as a parent, when I see the email from the principal, I'm paying attention to that to see whatever it is. So I didn't know if that's something you guys wanted to go back to, or if you liked just having the upcoming dates on the committee agendas.
So that would really be like an administrative decision. So like the norms, that would be like be dedicated to supporting and attending school functions. And then the second piece really would be, administrative.
Right. But I don't know what the board members want.
That's you mean specifically for us to receive them, or?
Yes. So in the past, as we would have board members who don't have any kids in the schools. So we were always like, oh, come to this event. And they had no idea what events were going on. So, because they didn't have any kids.
Are you saying maybe
So they are like board members were added, like all board members were added to the email listserv or something?
So it was like, just like they go out to all parents, the only thing the principals did was just add on all board members so that every single one of us got the emails for both schools so that you knew when things were coming up. And if you had the time to attend any of it, you could.
Is that different from though, like when we get our committee agendas and it has the upcoming like list?
Right, that's what I said, that Julie said it's at the bottom of that, but I didn't know if that was, like, if you guys are even reading that or even understand that that's what that is. Because that's why I said, I know when I get it from the principal, like from Principal Kidd, and she says, these are the like upcoming dates that you need to remember. And then she gets into detail about, sometimes we just have a topic on there, but you don't necessarily know what it is. I mean.
So some boards do have all their board members on the district listserv. I mean, that would be, not a norm, but a separate decision, but.
So
I didn't know what you.
wait,
Yeah, that
just
wouldn't be a norm, but yeah, it's
I thought that's what
a
you said,
separate
but
discussion.
something we can ask.
Yeah.
It would be a way of us figuring out how we wanted that information disseminated to us, other than how it's already being done.
Not enough.
So that's what I guess, what I wanted you guys to think about is you want to add that on, or do you feel that getting those topics on the bottom of the committee agenda is enough?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably maybe a separate discussion or, a discussion to have within committees. So, but
However you guys would like to discuss it. I can move on to the next one. The next one is strive. So that one is always strive to develop professionally as individual board members and as a board. Oh, and then we added on ideas as an afterthought should be directed to the committee chair. So we had a discussion about after the meeting, obviously we want to try to have all of our discussions then. But there have been times where some of us don't think about something until later, and then they want potentially, a committee to look further into something. So we thought that might be a good idea to just inform board members that if you do have an afterthought, just contact the chair of the committee, and then you can have them add it to an agenda or something like that. That it's just not like the end,
that could
like
be
the
part of
meeting's
your-
over, we can no longer discuss these things anymore type
And
of.
that could be part of like communication processes, like questions directed to committee chairs.
Right. You guys like these?
Any thoughts or discussions on those?
That was it for that.
Good. So, and then now you're up to for all committee meetings.
Right, then we did, and these I wrote out. So for all committee meetings, so come prepared, having reviewed the agenda and notify the chair of any questions or concerns. And then we said to discuss when materials are provided to the committees, because, we have experienced, yes, this is great for us to ask questions and voice concerns prior, but when we're not getting our materials within a timely manner, it makes it kind of difficult for us to follow that board norm.
So, yeah,
So I don't know if you guys want to talk about whenever they're being provided at this point, or.
There've been some committee discussions about that, because each committee is a little bit different. Like policy really needs a lot of advance notice on materials because there's so much reading. Finance will always have a couple last minute bills and things like that that get added. So finance had a discussion in their committee meeting about what that timing should be and what works for everybody. And policy, that meeting happens a week before everybody else's because there's so much reading and thinking to do on that. So I don't know if there's one norm for all the meetings.
you could
Discuss what materials are provided.
say something like, put it into like your protocol, like committee chairs will share their agendas with the entire board 2 days before their scheduled meeting.
We're doing.
Yeah,
So-
we have.
So all of the, actually, curriculum and personnel is the same. The week before, the conversation, the week before the committee, conversation with the chairs, the Friday is the agenda. If anything new, comes after that, to make sure that the chair knows, to let people know before the committee, and that's it.
I think what you're saying though is right, that each committee should have a process and that should be discussed by committee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think we all want to follow the first one, but it's hard to do that if you're getting information like the day of the committee meeting, or sometimes even like 20 minutes before the committee meeting is going to start.
Right.
And just to piggyback off that, I think that, the second part of, once we're done with the norms, when we start working on as a group, like processes, maybe whether it be per committee or just, with working with president, vice president, superintendent, and what those paths look like and processes look like, we can incorporate some of these steps further in more detail in addition to this.
So I know you're working on like a handbook, or
Right.
you want to make a handbook. Some boards have like at the beginning, like these are our norms, and then handbook after that.
Right.
So I had, just on that point, I had written down, the committee chair will alert the committee when the meeting packet is available or when new items have been added. And
Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
Yeah, because you're not always looking. We don't sit there and just stare at our board folders all the time, so, that would be awesome to put that in. And then too, like whatever's discussed in committees about process or whatever, remember, we can always bring it to board business and explain it to everyone. And then have a full board discussion too, if you guys want to do that as well, so that it's not just like, stays in just the committee or whatever, or this committee decided this for the whole board type of thing. you can always bring it into that part of the agenda, and we can discuss it there if you guys want. What was that, to notify? Oh, yeah, notify, if unable to attend, notify the chair as soon as possible, and then call one of the alternates to attend if available. So that was something that I said, maybe we should discuss who finds the alternate. Because I don't know if we've ever discussed it. We were just kind of told, like, you're not coming, so
Yeah.
you have to find the replacement. But in the past, we didn't do that. The chair of the committee was responsible.
Oh.
I don't really care either way, but I
Yeah.
just didn't know if that's something that the board wanted to discuss on what they would like. And then we kind of got into, the meeting's gonna happen probably anyway, unless it's just probably the board president and the superintendent who can attend the committee meeting, and then you're probably gonna try to reschedule it.
Right.
Because you need at least one other board member there, so, I mean, even if you can't find the replacement, you know, the committee meeting has to happen before the board meeting regardless. So I didn't know if that's something that the board wanted to discuss, or if everybody just likes the process of, if you can't come, you gotta see if you can find somebody to replace you or not.
Yeah, so that's like good, like as a general norm, like that's good. And then you can decide if you have a process for that after, but you could keep that just as a general
Right.
norm.
This is very much, I think, a policy perspective, having been on the policy committee much longer than others. I think when their alternates come in for policy, they're so out of place because there's been so much discussion that it's almost more challenging.
Even operations and finance.
I
right?
I
Like,
agree.
there's
I
so much
think we
stuff in
overuse
there.
the alternates a little bit, that sometimes maybe, I think it's a really hard thing to come in as an alternate to some meetings. You're completely lost. So I'm not sure that I feel like we almost need a discussion as to whether we want to continue with the alternates.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
'Cause it's putting board members in an awkward position, especially if they're being asked to make a decision and they haven't been to any of the lead-up meetings.
But like,
I think as long
Five
as there were
meetings
two board
beforehand that
meetings
led up
there,
to
you
that
can still
discussion.
have a productive
Yeah.
meeting,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Maybe we only need to find an alternate if it's down
And
to one.
and don't forget, you're just discussing, you're having discussions and making recommendations. A new board member doesn't have to come in and
I mean,
decide something,
the
but at
norm-
the
could
same
the
time,
norm
it
be
might be
then-
good to experience. I remember I used to encourage my board members when I was board president to attend, because we were a board of 9, so we could have up to 4 people. We had 3 committees, we had 3 people on a committee. And as board president, I would try to attend all the committee meetings, but I used to say, if you're interested in something on this committee, come to this committee meeting and attend that meeting. It can be a very good thing for your board members to experience what's going on the other committees, and also build trust too.
Yeah, I've seen that too, where, like, if you have a board member who wants to be on a certain committee and then they're not, in the past, like, if somebody wasn't coming and you're kind of like, you offer that olive branch and say like, well, hey, this person's not gonna be there, so if you wanna sit in and see how this committee works, like, come on in, like, there's a spot open. But I agree, like, it's tough, like, and then for the amount of work that gets done in the committee, and then to try to rehash all of that for a new person who's there.
Takes
and add on, and some of these meetings can be
Hours
4 or
to
6
begin with, yeah.
hours, and then to have that new person. So, I mean, like I said, I've had committee meetings where it's the board president, 1 board member, and the superintendent, and you still get through the committee. But if it's only like the president and the superintendent, then they try to reschedule it. So
maybe
I don't know if alternates are necessary. Really.
Yeah, maybe it just needs to be alert the committee chair if you can't attend, and the committee chair will determine if an alternate is needed for that day.
I think that's a good idea. I like
And
that.
also, if you want to be an alternate on a particular committee, let
chair know.
that chair know.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually board members will tell you, I really wanted to be on this committee, like, and then as the president, you kind of know, like, oh, okay, I know this person's not coming, so let me see if the other one wants to show up.
Cool.
So, what were we up to? Listen?
Can you go back to something you said earlier?
Oh, sure.
About the conversation, if you want to come back to something, to raise it during the board something at the end of the board meeting?
Oh, at the board, during board business?
Yeah.
Additional
Is that
business?
so let's say for any reason there's something coming out of a committee meeting and someone's reading the minutes, is it more appropriate then to raise questions after the minutes have been read at that point, or to wait until the end for the board business section?
You could do either, but we've done it usually, if it's a board member asking, like, the community has to wait for certain parts, right? But as a board member, we've said like, oh, I have a question for the chair of that committee, right after they've read the minutes, and then you just have the discussion there.
Okay.
So you can definitely do that. If you don't think of it until later, you can bring anything up under board business.
Okay.
Because it's new and old.
Additional business.
Right? And board business is like, we don't say it, but it's anything new, right? Any old business, right? So you can go return to.
So we have to listen to and consider thoughtfully all administration recommendations. We thought that's pretty
I
self-explanatory.
think that was from the presentation too.
Yeah. Work towards consensus with your colleagues, keeping all students as the focus for your recommendations. And then welcome input and consider all viewpoints with the expectation that students are at. Put that one on, sorry. The center.
Good. Any thoughts, questions?
So
I
those
think
were
those
the
are-
ones
yeah.
that we came up for the committee.
I think you all did a great job. Are you all kind of okay with these?
Yeah, I thought they were all.
Yeah, so I
good.
mean, you're not like
Yeah.
voting on them or anything
Yeah,
right
no,
now.
I
You
like
don't have
them
to
all.
decide. So like I
I
said,
like the
we'll all do.
support, respect, take, peace. I really like the strive.
Oh, the strive, yeah.
I'm big on professional development, in case anybody hadn't figured that out
Yeah.
yet.
No. We had some more specific, like, process things, like the chair is responsible for making sure notes are taken in some form during committee, things like that. Do we want to get to that
Good, if you're doing
detail?
a handbook,
Yeah.
But you know, one thing though is that, I kind of did, well, I mean, since we're all here and it's very rare that we all get to sit together and have a discussion, I think it's important that we do talk about some of these things, because once we split up, that's it. And it's hard to communicate and us all get on the same page. And I know we're talking about, hey, we don't want to stay here any longer than necessary. But if we don't have and understand the same message, then, how do we all come to an agreement or really understand? And we're going to have inconsistencies constantly.
So should we have, like, the structure of the handbook? Should we start with the board norms?
Yes.
So those being the
can
more
start
general,
with the norms and then
non-process related.
yes, those are how you treat each other separate from
Right, like
governance.
respectful.
Yes.
And then have a section after it on the procedures.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen handbooks where the boards they have
And
their
in your
norms on.
board goal folder, right, in your board packet, the example of the handbook that you have is in that packet that, with the 4 sections of the handbook with the norms. And I think that there's samples from other districts.
Yeah, I have. I mean,
I
I
have
have some
Like
samples.
Seagirt
that in
has
this
like
packet?
the norms and then the, what are they called, the rules of the road or whatever.
It branches
No,
off into different
There's a folder
sections.
in your board packet that started all the way back in July.
Which board packet are we talking about, for
Your
tonight?
No, you're on the Google Drive. There's a folder, Board Goal 1, has the governance thing. It has the PowerPoint from October. It has Jessica's memo. It has.
Where is that?
And that's
go
where
to
you
your
can
board.
really get into email and communication protocols and those kinds of things that you
Right.
want to follow too.
Yes.
Like,
We could
know, just-
continue this, like, we kind of have a bit of a, like, we discussed quite a few things, but could we continue, like, because as things come up
Thank you.
in board business,
Yeah.
like, at our meetings, we say, okay, well, we tried this, and this didn't work, and this worked really, really well, and then it
like
should be a
that.
dynamic document
Yes.
anyways, because, like, for instance, we tried the alternate thing last year, and then it was hard. Like, it was, you kind of came, as the year went on, it's like, this might not be the best idea. It might be better to reschedule meetings if the regular committee members can't be there, instead of slotting in people who aren't up to speed with what's
Yes.
going on. It might be better to reschedule. So, yeah, I like the idea of it being dynamic, and I don't think, like, even if you don't if we miss something tonight, is my point. Like, we could still discuss it in board business. Like, it's not like the conversation is over.
Right.
You find something that you would like changed, or you see an issue, or you'd like to iron out a certain process. We could always do that in board
Yeah, and if
business as well.
you approve your norms, and eventually when you are finished with your handbook, your board will approve that handbook, but then you're going to want to revisit it probably
You get
once
new
a
board
year.
members, or
Right, yeah,
you said you find
exactly.
things that don't work.
Yeah.
And you're like,
There's a
okay.
lot of boards, like, we can help you with it if you want me to come back out and help you with handbook. I have one of my colleagues is helping a board with a handbook right now. Handbooks seem to be very popular right now with boards. So yeah, we can help you with that. You know, I can always come back and do that for you. But yeah, it's something you're going to want to be revisiting, and then also talk about, well, what if somebody violates the norm? Is it a conversation with the board president, or, you know, what do you do about that? And that's, again, something that can go in your handbook. So, but you want to keep your norms are typically like more general. How do you treat each other? What are our,
So after this
how do we
meeting, could we
act?
do the board norms? And then we discussed actually quite a few of the processes, and even just put in like what Danielle has set up for the process for, you know, discussing the agenda with committee chairs and the super the week before.
Could probably change on a yearly basis, you know?
Yeah,
Well, as in it should, because based on the president and their expectations, that could change.
getting the email from the chair when the committee packet's available, and when anything's been added. What else?
The committee chair communicating with the super a week before the meeting to review agenda.
You're allowed to contact the chair, you're allowed to contact the president, you're allowed to contact the super if you have questions.
I think that one thing that I found to be challenging for some board members to understand, I don't know why it was challenging. I feel like when you say it, it should be pretty plain and simple. But for some people, it seemed difficult for them to understand that we don't have a big administrative team. And there is kind of like that chain of command of reach out to the chair of the committee, you know, reach out to the board president, and then, you know, even though the superintendent has an open door policy, which is great, but that should be like the last person that you try to get to, just because they have to do, and I've said this repeatedly, their day-to-day and run the schools. So we need to give them the time to do that, and we have to try to work together to like sort out whatever questions or misunderstanding or whatever is happening.
Maybe like a flow chart, right?
Yeah.
In the
that's an
in the
excellent,
governance.
actually, I have an example I
Yeah.
can give you.
Jen, I had
Yeah,
started
that would
that,
be
remember,
great.
some time back, and
Yeah.
that's kind of where we.
Flow chart of
Yeah.
your communication
Yes.
process.
Right.
Because I think like when it was stated to people or board members, they took it as, oh, well, that's because this person is very controlling and they don't want anybody to talk to the superintendent. Meanwhile, the superintendent could be saying, I don't have time to talk to all these people. I have to do my job, and if you want me to do my job, you know, you're gonna have to start handling some of these board members, right? So I think they kind of took it that way, and it wasn't that way. It was just, you know, there's just not enough time in
No,
the
I
day,
agree.
which I think on some of them that we have is like being considerate of each other's time and the administrative time. So I think like setting that up is good so that people understand that it's not just whoever's sitting in the seat as president at that time is making this decision. It's just an overall general thing.
And understanding you're not actually being restricted. You
And
are
I
allowed
would
to contact.
say, sometimes, if it makes sense to just ask the question, please reach out, because sometimes by the time it's gone.
But I do remember
Like
being.
the telephone
cut
game,
through it.
yeah.
Yes,
I
we
do
could
remember,
just cut through
I
it.
do remember being at workshop and the superintendent presenting and saying that it was like, being the superintendent was like dating 9 people.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. They'll get 9
You
different
guys
emails
are good,
of
though. I
different.
don't get
Getting
9
9
text
different
messages.
personalities with 9 different
You're good.
Yeah, but I'm
processes
glad-
of learning with 9 different sets of questions, and yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
different
glad.
learning
Luckily, I
styles.
don't get that.
That's it's a good point, especially in these, you know, smaller districts. I was board president of a little tiny K-8 one building school district, and the administrators, we had a small administrator team, they wear so many hats, but they still have a lot of the same responsibilities of the superintendent and the administrators in the larger
All
districts.
the same job.
Yes. So it is like, they do wear so many hats, and I give them a lot of credit for what they do, but that was a really excellent point that you made. And some boards, again, like they have that in their handbook. If you have a question about this is the person. You have a question about training, you contact your board secretary. Or, and then they also have, the field service, contact your field service rep for these types of questions. So like, and that's really good for new board members too, because new board members have a lot of questions and sometimes you don't know who to go to.
Speaking of that, and I guess, maybe it's what Jen, you were talking about before about professional development, like something that I would expect, and I'm kind of seeing it now, is, all right, we don't have a handbook, but like it appears, and I'm guessing this is from the retreat, that there isn't an action plan for 25, 26
For your goals? Yeah.
for the goals. So first of all, the goals folder is
That's
in
in
the
that same
agenda
thing.
folder, so I wouldn't have never known to look there. But then the action plan, like, to me, we should have something that's like onboarding. Like, here you go,
So-
Sahil, Letitia, and Rich. This is what's in process right now. Because like I'm finding that document very helpful.
Did, yeah.
We did.
So I have started to create and have been working on, and I'll send you permissions for it, board resources folder.
Okay.
It has an orientation folder, and then it has a governance folder. So we'll have like all the previous goals and action plans and anything related to governance, like norms and things like that. Then it has a policy folder, a personnel folder, a curriculum folder, and a finance folder that has resources mostly from New Jersey School Boards Association in each folder.
Like what we went through with you guys is also
Yeah.
from the
Right.
Is this yours, though?
I'm just,
combination.
You have access to it,
Okay.
but I haven't added you. I will send
I'm
it to you.
just curious, though, like, and I'm gonna direct this question to Dory.
Oh, gosh.
Just because you've been here the longest, but like, why doesn't that exist? Is it, and I don't mean that as in like, what did the old boards do wrong, but is it like, is that something because there's turnover in boards, it's just hard to maintain? Like, is there a way that we can like,
You could,
not just do it for this year, but make sure that,
Well, no, I think that's the idea.
I would actually also like to create an orientation manual for president and vice president.
No, but his question is, why hasn't it been done before?
you could set that as a board goal, like if that's something that you wanted to do, you could
That's what I'm
have that be a board goal moving forward.
We did do
And then you would have that in place. I mean, I'm not sure what you
We
have.
do have
Oh,
a
okay.
new board, I was gonna say
We did the
Jen
orientation.
ran that, we did.
We do an orientation.
You know what it is too?
And there's the documents too.
When you come in as a
Oh, I
first-time
know.
board member, nobody knows what you're talking about. I don't mean to make it sound like that.
No, no,
but it's
no,
just
we-
like There's
Yeah.
all this information.
lot.
given.
Absolutely, and we met for hours, we
We
did,
also-
we met for hours.
Yeah.
You don't, when you go in for that orientation, you're not actually seeing the Google Drives and like, you're not talking about the detailed processes and protocols.
No, they just
And so
have
that,
their document.
you just dive into that pool.
Yeah.
And that's confusing.
Yeah. There's a huge learning curve to being a new board member. I mean, it's a lot of reading. It does take a long time to learn. And just, that's why I always recommend a new board member.
Well, you have a 3-year term,
Time,
but
there is, yeah, I know, it's a 3-year term, but there's a pretty big learning curve to it.
But I mean, like finding stuff, yeah, that's like,
That's what I wanted.
in that board packet or committee packet is
this
everything.
is something we could probably discuss too. Like sometimes it's okay for stuff to be duplicated and put in multiple places so that I'm not like clicking on every single thing all the time. If
But it
that
is,
makes sense. Like, I'm not trying to be lazy, it's just like sometimes it can
lot.
get confusing, so.
Well, you had asked for the policy to go in the board packet, not just in policy, the first and second
Right,
reading,
right.
and the committee, like the committee stuff in the board packet, not just in the committee. So that does happen
Yeah.
from Pinky every month. So you'll see it, right? Like if you're in policy, you see that first and second reading folder, the agenda, the minutes. Additionally, though, you have other policies under review. In the board packet, like if it's on the agenda for first and second review, it's in those folders or in the committee.
I like that process where everything that you need to know is in the board packet, so you're not having to go
For
back.
the board meeting.
Yes, I feel like you shouldn't have to go back into committee folders unless
We
you have a
and we
specific
did do that.
question or you're
Right, it should
confused
all
or
just-
everything should be,
Right.
everything should be in the board.
And that is what They responded, Pinky
Yeah,
responded.
no, I like it better that way.
I agree.
If you're
It's
saying
otherwise
Simpler.
too confusing.
Yeah, too many folders.
there's like
Well, we
a
have to- you have to have your
resources
committee folder.
area, then yeah, that would be
Can we,
helpful.
Would it
can
it
we
would
get that
still be in
board
the board
resources folder? No, here, board agenda packets, committees.
Yeah, I wanted it added under.
Oh, I don't
Watchung
know, I don't
BOE.
know how to do that, but we can ask Aaron. Because we don't, believe it or not, we don't set that
Right,
up.
right.
That's
we could have
that's how
that.
it's
I've
in your
just been
board
email,
packet.
I've just been emailing everybody the link like every 6 months. But it would be nicer.
And then
if
we
you could
put
see
the
it.
folder with your any stuff you send,
And
right?
all
We
this
add it to that. There's a board goal 1 that we add your stuff to. I don't think I have the resources links, or we could make that a folder for you if you want.
And Rich, I'll send it to you and then just star it, and then it will always come up under starred too.
I guess I've just always found like you want people to come to the table and be prepared, right? So just make sure you make the information easily available for them to be able to do.
Yeah. And like I said, that we responded to.
All right.
Are you,
No, go ahead.
will you send that link out again?
I'll send it out again. Actually, everybody also has like edit access. You can add your own stuff
Okay.
to those folders. If you have gone to a seminar or a workshop and you have a slide deck or something you want to add in, everybody has access to add in. So are you going to you're going to send the norms.
So I will type up in a form. I'll take that, type it up. If you could maybe email me what you typed up on there.
Do it right now.
I'm going to put it together in a form. I will send it to your board president, and then you'll have it.
Yes,
Just
this-
what we did, what we did here tonight.
Yeah.
Norms that you came up with.
Right.
If
And
the outcomes of what we did here tonight, I'll type it all up for you.
perfect. And then I was wondering, Jessica, if you could like create like a start for the governance handbook and put in like the procedures or processes as we're using them right now. And maybe we could bring it back to board business
Yes.
and I'll review it, like put it in a board packet in the future. And then I'll review it as a group because we have a couple people missing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that sound good?
Great work. So I was happy to be here with all of you tonight, and thank you so much for the cake and happy birthday.
Thanks.
I actually will be back next week for
Right.
finance.
19th.
It's one of my favorite things to talk about. So yeah, board role in finance. So think of your finance
And
questions that you
don't
have.
forget to send the PowerPoint.
Yes, I
So
have
we
a-
can click it to
Yes,
the
I
live
will send the
stream.
PowerPoint in
And
advance
that
to your
one
superintendent and your board
document,
president.
was
And yes,
that
I
one
have.
document
Yes, I have
to
some
share with
handouts that go
Karen.
along with that too. How to
Perfect.
read your board secretary treasurer report 101 and
And we'll
questions
highlight
to ask
that
about the budget. So
for you.
Yeah, I know.
No, no, she.
Okay. Yeah.
As part of her presentation, and you can on the agenda.
all right, thank you. And then of course I'm always available to all of you. I think that you know anything you need, call me, email me, any questions you have,
Still, are you
free to
just-
reach out.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we still have to do comments from the public on agenda items.
Right? You don't have any.
We don't have any, but I still need to read the legal, yeah. We welcome input from the public. There are 2 times during the meeting when the public is invited to speak. The first opportunity to comment on agenda items only is now. The second opportunity for public comment is toward the end of the meeting, which will also be in a minute. All comments are limited to 5 minutes. The total time allotted for public comment is 30 minutes. Before you make your comment, please state your name and municipality of residence. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 30 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 3 minutes duration. Our public forums are not structured as a question and answer session, but rather are offered as opportunities to share input with the board. In instances where the board feels a response is needed, the presiding officer or superintendent will address the comment. New Jersey statutes do not permit the board to discuss personnel or hiring in public session. Names of students should not be used. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of legal rights of those affected and identified in their comments, and be aware that they are personally, legally responsible with potential liability for comments that they make to the board. The board shall not be held liable for comments made by members of the public. Are there any comments? Seeing as no one is here this evening, is there any board business? Once again, it is time for comments from the public. Are there any comments from the public? Okay.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Really great, you guys. It was fun to.